If you've been following my The Last of Us room scene, you'll know that I've modeled the wall lamp, the floor lamp, and the TV stand. And I've got some of these already textured. We did this one in a video. All right, so I'll just show you that one. All right, there's the wall lamp, and I've also textured the floor lamp very similarly, and so that's why I didn't show it. And now it's time to work on the TV stand. So we're just going to go ahead and do some work on this one here. And we are going to painstakingly unwrap all of this manually. No, we're not. We're going to use Smart UV Project for a lot of it. Before we start, however, I'll show you that I've got materials on here. So I decided to use materials. It's a little bit easier sometimes. And when I use separate materials, it allows you to use one UV map for a particular material, so you can get a better texture resolution. So I've got the speakers here and the TV all as the speakers material, and then I've got a material for the TV stand. So this will have its own UV map, and this will have its own UV map. And then it's also easier to put on materials, although I'll be doing multiple materials on this one object. So even if you have it all joined, you can still do that. The bevel has been applied on everything, and I've come in and I've done merge by distance as well to get rid of anything extra. So let's start with this, and let's just come in here and let's try a Smart UV Project at 0.03 and see how it looks. And that's what you get. And this is mirrored, so I'll have the same thing on the other side. So that's fine. And we're going to look at the TV, and we could try a Smart UV Project on that as well. And that looks okay. So with both of those, I'll select all of that, and I will do a pack. You can use Blender to pack, or you can use UV Pack Master if you've got it. So that's ready to go for the speakers material. So I'm going to hide that. Now we come to the TV stand itself. If I just do a big Smart UV Project, it doesn't work as well as if I do each piece separately, and the knobs will be something different. So maybe we'll do the knobs right now, actually. I'm going to come in, I'm going to select this one and a bit of this one and Control L, and let's try just unwrap. And I just get circles. They're almost circles. And that's going to be fine for what I want to do. So I'm going to press H to hide. Let's select a bit of this, and I see that I've got some edges on here, so I'm going to delete those or clear them. So I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay, select this piece, and so I've got just that rectangle selected, and I'm going to use Smart UV Project as well. And that should be just fine for that. H to hide it. Let's do the legs here. Control L, Smart UV Project. Okay, hide that. We'll pack all of it later. Let's do these cupboard-like things. We use Smart UV. That's going to be okay, I think. Let's get these two things. Control L, Smart UV Project, hide. Now this one is just a plane, so I'm just going to unwrap it, hide. Smart UV Project, hide. Let's do this one down here. We'll come to these in a minute. And for this, I think I'm going to grab the whole thing, Control L. Let's get everybody in there. Let's try a Smart UV Project on that. That's good. I'll get those because I want to put some dirt on those versus taking those themselves. No, they're flying. Okay, so let's take all of that and hide that, and that leaves these. And I have found that it's better to put a seam down here. Control E, mark seam. I just selected that. I'll do that on the other side. Just one seam right in the middle of that 3-edge bevel, and then take those and unwrap as opposed to Smart UV Project. And that's fine. So if I Alt H to bring all of that back, make sure it's all selected. I can now, we can try average island scale and then pack, and that's what we get. Alt H for all of that. So it's unwrapped and it's got its separate materials, and it's ready to go. Now it's a test, you know. You bring it into Substance Painter, try applying a material, see if there's any errors, and you know, if there are, then come back and unwrap it a little bit different, make sure nothing's overlapping, that kind of thing. So export this as an FBX, bring it into Substance Painter. Here it is in Substance Painter. I've already baked the mesh maps at 2K just to save a little bit of time, and we can have a look at this, and it's looking okay to me. So we're going to get started. You can see I've got my two materials here. So let's start on the speakers, and let's see what we can do here. I'm on materials. I'm going to type in plastic. Let's go for this plastic mat. Drag that in. That'll get the speakers and the TV. And let's change this to a dark color. You don't want to go black. Something like that. And I'll put the roughness about halfway or so. And then let's start grunging this up a little bit. So that's like our base material. So let's put on a fill, and let's just go for color. And we'll leave it around there, sort of a mid-gray. Let's try a generator. Let's try dirt first off, and then bring that down. That's kind of giving us our base sort of a dust in a way. So I don't mind that effect on there as opposed to having it dark, because you know it's not going to show up on here. So we get some dust in there. So let's call it dirt/dust. Let's do another fill, and again just use color. I'll leave it at that white for now, and let's do a black mask with a generator, and let's try metal edges, and let's bring it way down, almost 0, just so we get the finest amount there. Let's play with the grunge amount. Try that. Let's do this, and let's try on here maybe even less than that. And let's maybe let's try adding a filtered blur and see if that looks any good. Just to blur it out a little bit, so we get that. Now I kind of let me bring the screenshot up. All right, so it's quite dirty and dusty here, and you can see that one of the points I wanted to make is that there's very little that's really shiny. You know, when we all started out with Photoshop and we used the lens flare repeatedly, you know, too much, and then when we all started with Blender, everything had to be shiny metal. But in a lot of these games, especially these apocalyptic type games, there's very little shine. It's very diffuse and dull. And the other thing is there's very little bump. You don't get a lot of noise, you know, bump. The bump is used for, you know, getting this kind of effect, you know, where you need an actual height difference, but you don't put wood grain with a lot of bump in there, and that kind of thing. So just something to keep in mind. But I want to see if I can grunge these up a little bit more. So this was, I'll just call this edges. Let's do another sort of a dusty layer on top, and then we'll change something here. Let's do another fill layer, and we can just go for color as well. I'll leave it like that for now. I'll put on a black mask, I'll add a fill, and we'll come in here. Let's actually look at the grunges over here and just find something. Let's try this just for the fun of it. Nah. What about this one? Oh, I like that one. Bring that down. Just, you know, make it dirty. And in fact, I still think that this looks too shiny there. Okay, and maybe even those edges could come down even more. So they're just, where am I here? It's just barely there as an outline. Something like that. Okay, now let's work on that TV screen, and this is, I don't know, grunge or something like that. So for the TV screen, I'm going to use a smart material. I'm going to search for glass. And this Glass Dirty, I don't know if it came with Substance Painter or if I downloaded it. I'm going to drop that on top. That gives us more dirt, but I only want it on the TV screen. So I'm going to take this, and I'm on plain, is it? Polygon fill. Yeah, that one. And I want that like that, but I don't want it so shiny. So I'm going to come down to the base of the glass, and you can see the roughness there. I want to bring the roughness up quite like a quarter or so, and maybe even more. And that is the effect that I'm going for. I just might tone down the dust a little bit, but I'll leave it for now. All right, so we are going to make sure we save. We're going to come over to the TV stand, and I'm going to come over to Smart Materials, and I'm going to type in wood. And I've got this wood that I created. Let's pull that in and see if that's the one. I believe that is the one. And this wood was created when I made the fancy table, and I walked through making all of these layers. So I'll link you to that video if you want to make this material. Now I'm not going to leave it exactly like that, but you can see I've just brought it in and dropped it. It's a stylized wood, so it's got a little bit of a light border. I'm going to change the color in a second, but just note again that I use Smart UV Project to do this, and it's come on, and the style of the wood without very prominent grain seems to work pretty good. And I'm not going to zoom in and have a real close-up. This is just in the room. Right? There it is over there. And my colors are not necessarily going to be the same, but I am going to work on this a little bit. So I want to change this color to a something more along that line, and this, you know, it's going to be what it's going to be, and it's not going to be exactly the same. Now let's have a look at this dirt. I think I want to clear that, and I'm going to try again with the dirt just in case it was going weirdly on this. And what have I got? Okay, just that. I might do another one later. This one here, yeah, I think I'm good with that as a start. I just want to try that. And just looking at that edge, I think it's going to be okay once I do a little bit more. So there's the basic wood. I'm going to do another dirt layer, but we're going to use the light sort of for dust similar to this. So let's try just with a dirt generator and see where it goes. All right, pretty much goes everywhere. And I don't particularly like that unless I bring this down. So let's try, instead of that, let's try a smart mask with dirt. And let's try like dirt soft edges. Let's go back to here. Oh, I don't mind that. It's starting to look good. So this is some dirt on there. Really, it's really dust. All right, we'll go dirt / dust. Let's do another one. And let's just do color, and let's try a darker one. And I'll do this, and let's try just throwing something else in. Okay, we got the mask builder. Let's bring this down. No, I don't want that. Triplanar, it's fine. let's try soft light. Nah, I don't like that. We'll leave it, but we'll bring this down. Okay, let's I want to work on the base again, the base color. I want to go back to this and get it a little bit more like the picture that we saw here. Okay, I do want some dark dirt in the cavities and all. So this is another kind of dust layer. I'm going to do more, and this time I will use color and roughness, and I'll do the typical dirt, and we'll see with darkness there, and black mask and a generator, and we'll try just the dirt generator. You know, I want some of that filling in the cavities. Okay, this kind of thing. And let's do this is dirt. Let's do another grunge layer. Let's do a fill, and let's use just color. Let's try a black or dark. Let's do this. Let's do a fill, and let's come over to the grunges. And this is, I want grunge wipe. Let's try grunge wipe. Which one? Directional. Let's try this one. Yeah, okay. Just throw a little bit of that in there. But I may try just this one instead. I like that one. All right, building up the grunge and the dirt. We're not going to see it up close again, so that's going to be okay. Grunge. And let's do one more with scratches and color. I'm going to try sort of a wood kind of orangey, but we'll leave it there for the moment. I'm going to use a black mask and a fill, and here I'm going to search for scratches. Which one do I want to try? Where's grunge dirt scratchy? Let's try this one. Let's play with this. Okay, it's coming in. I'm going to have to increase the resolution. I may go more for that, just to make it look really dirty. This is gonna. I'll just call this scratches, and we'll up the resolution in just a moment. Okay, we need to get some glass in here, so we're going to do the same trick we did before. Smart materials, glass, this glass dirty, we'll drop that in over top. We'll add a black mask, and we'll just choose these pieces in here. So like I had said, you're not going to see through them, you're just going to see that. I think that looks pretty good. I may change the color of this wood a little bit, but that's roughly what I'm going for. Let's just do the knobs, and then we'll up the resolution and be kind of done. And like I say, I may tone that down at some point, but still, it's okay. And for this, I'm going to use the materials. Let's try this aluminum directional. Let's drop that in on top, and black mask, and come in here and switch this to mesh, and just choose the knobs. And I don't really need to do much more than that. That's just going to be what they're going to look like right there. Just save that. Lighting is very important for this. Right now I'm on panorama. You can see if I switch, it's really going to change how this is going to look. So I'll leave it on this one here. which I kind of like. And I'm going to, I can change the resolution on either of these. I'm on the TV stand, so I'll just do it for the TV stand. I won't make a real big difference, but just some of the detail will be a little bit more pronounced. Okay, I'll maximize that, play with the light. Maybe we will try a different, a couple of different lightings, just to show you what it ends up looking like. I'll just leave it at that. If you didn't like the way some of this was going, you could easily flip the UV, a piece of the UV. You could find out, let's say, this piece, you know, and you could flip it in Blender and just bring it back and update it. But that is what I get. It's a little brown, but you know, this is my version of the scene. I'm not going to be able to achieve the exact same textures that the game really uses, and so that looks kind of neat as well. Just to show you, it looks pretty dilapidated. And you could put more stuff on there, but that's basically what I'm going for. I will tweak this on my own because it takes time, and when I bring it into the actual scene, I will move the speakers a little bit, although I got to be careful because I have some ambient occlusion effects and some shadows, but I'll probably just tilt that a little bit, and that will be that model. All right, so that's going to be it for the time being on that thing there. I like that because it's a little bit more subdued. And we'll leave it at that, and then we're going to move on and model a sofa, and then I'm going to texture it in Substance Painter, so I'll show you how I'm going to do that as well. All right, so thanks very much for watching, and hope to see you in the next video.